Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Well, today we're going to be talking about Alfred Hitchcock because Ken over on the Mid-Level Media channel has been doing themed months since about the beginning of the year. And lucky for me, this month just happens to be Alfred Hitchcock month. And it's lucky for me because he's probably top 3 favorite directors of all time. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Alfred Hitchcock, but I'm going to be talking about Alfred Hitchcock films that maybe flew a little bit below the radar. Because when you think of Alfred Hitchcock, you think of, The Birds, Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho, North by Northwest. But I thought it would be kind of fun to just kind of delve into some of the movies that maybe don't quite get as much attention as I think they maybe should. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But before we do that, I have to ask, guys, do you like physical media, movies, Blu-ray hunting trips, unboxings, the occasional horror toy hunting trip? If you do, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you. So now, like I said before, when you think of Hitchcock, you think of The Birds, you think of Psycho, Rear Window, all that stuff, all those big name movies. But what a lot of people don't know is that Hitchcock actually directed like over 50 actual feature-length movies. So when you do that many movies, chances are you're going to have a few that kind of go below the radar, just people don't consider as good, but it doesn't mean that they're not still good just because they're not as popular. And so I thought in this video, I'm going to take a few from my collection and just talk about some of the ones that I still think are definitely worth your time. I haven't decided yet. I might just do this one and I might do a part 2 because there are a bunch of movies that I could talk about. But these are the ones that I watched not that long ago that I know a lot better than some of the other ones. So I decided I'm going to talk about these ones. And then later on, I'll maybe do another video that we can talk about some of the other ones. So I'm not going to delve too deep into the movies because I feel like when you think of or when you go in to see a Hitchcock movie, I myself personally think you get the most out of it going in as blind as possible. So I'm just going to very loosely kind of just go over the plot of the movie a little bit and but without giving like really too much away. We're just going to leave it at that. And if it sounds like it's something that intrigues your interest, check it out. So the first movie that we're going to be talking about is Notorious. This came out for the Criterion Collection. This movie is basically about Cary Grant, who plays an intelligence officer who sends Ingrid Bergman, who is the American daughter of a convicted war criminal. He sends her in to basically spy on and become up close and personal with a Nazi war criminal who's hiding out in South America. And over the course of this time, Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman start to fall in love. And the whole time they're kind of wondering, well, are they going to figure out who she is? Is she going to be busted by the Nazis? So there's this level of like they're always just, on thin ice through the entire movie. And there's this sense of just kind of, oh man, is she going to get found out? Is she not going to get found out? And I got to say, the last scene of this movie, in my personal opinion, is one of Alfred Hitchcock's most suspenseful scenes in all of his movies. The first time I saw this, I was on the edge of my seat. This movie is so good. It starts off a little bit slow. It does take a little bit of time to get going, but once you get going, it is well worth your time and you're not going to regret it. This movie is fantastic. Definitely check out Notorious. All right, guys, so moving on. Next one that we're going to talk about is also a release from the Criterion Collection, and this is Rebecca. I love that front cover, too, by the way. And this movie is basically about a woman who marries a widower, but once she's married to him, she soon realizes that she has to kind of live in the shadow of his ex-wife, who years earlier died under, mysterious circumstances. And so it's a love story, but it's kind of a ghost story. It's very kind of hard to explain, but this is one that I definitely recommend. It's a good time, and I believe it won an Academy Award for Best Cinematography that year. Don't quote me on that. I just think it is. So yeah, Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca. Next one we're going to talk about. This one most people have probably heard of. In fact, you might have even seen it. It's one of my personal favorites, and that's Strangers on a Train. And this movie is basically what the title says. It's two strangers who meet on a train. Over the course of time, they get to talking. One person starts bitching about his wife, and then the other person starts kind of complaining about, I think it's his mother. And at some point throughout the conversation, one of the guys says to the other one, well, hey, we could just get rid of this problem right now. Like, I'll kill your wife for you if you kill my mother for me. And of course, then the other guy was like, you're crazy. I'm just venting. I don't want my wife dead. I want nothing to do with this. And let's just say that the other person doesn't take it that way, and all hell kind of breaks loose. This movie gets pretty nuts. I'm not even going to say anything more. I don't want to ruin it. So if that sounds like an interesting premise to you, definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. Strangers on a Train is absolutely fantastic. In fact, this might have been like the third one I saw. I think I saw like Rear Window and maybe Psycho, and then Strangers on a Train. So I saw this very early on, and I was not disappointed. The movie is super good. This next one is going to be one that's definitely lesser known. I don't know how many people have seen it or even heard of it, but that is the movie I Confess. And basically, this movie is about Montgomery Clift plays a priest, and he hears a confession from a murderer about a murder. And over the course of the movie, there's another priest who gets convicted of the murder, and even Montgomery Clift's character himself becomes a prime suspect. Sorry, guys, can't talk. Prime suspect in the murder, and he has to make the decision, the moral decision of, does he go against the church and speak out about the confession that he heard that he's not supposed to talk about, to clear his name and his fellow, the fellow priest's name? Or does he stick with his code of honor and just however things turn out? So he's kind of always complexed with this like moral dilemma of, what should I do? I mean, what's the right thing to do? Do I go against the church? Do I not? What's considered right in this circumstance? What's not considered right? This movie is very good. I Confess. I definitely recommend this one as well. The next one we're going to move on to, this is another one too that a lot of people have probably heard of. You might have even seen, but it doesn't get talked about that much. So I'm going to bring it up, and that is Dial M for Murder. This movie, I believe, was based on a stage play. And one of the things that I really like about it is some of the scenes, the way that it's filmed. It's almost like you're on a balcony looking down at a stage, based on where they place the cameras. It plays out very much like a stage play, and a lot of the cinematography and camera angles choices reflect that, and it's really cool. But basically, this movie is about a guy who hires somebody, like a contract killer, to kill his wife, and let's just say things don't go as planned. And that, I'm just going to leave it at that. This movie is fantastic too. Dial M for Murder. I highly recommend it. Definitely check this one out. And then the last one we're going to talk about is probably one that most people have probably not seen or probably have never even heard of. But this one was really impactful to me. I don't know. I remember seeing this after the first time I watched it, just thinking, wow, that movie was really good and really suspenseful. It was awesome. And that's Henry Fonda in The Wrong Man. And this movie is basically what the title says. Henry Fonda is convicted of a crime he didn't commit. The person who did it is somebody who looks fairly similar to him. And basically, he has to do everything in his power to prove his innocence. And yeah, that's long and short of it. That's what this movie's about. He's wrongfully accused, and it's super intense and really good. It's very well done. In fact, I might even watch this again tonight because it's been quite a few years since I've seen it. But The Wrong Man is super good. I highly recommend it. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the few ones I have in my collection here. I have a few other ones. Like I said, I might do a part 2. I just didn't want this video to be super, super long. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see a part 2. I can definitely do that for you. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I got for you today. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know you guys like what I'm doing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And leave in the comments below. Do you like Hitchcock? Have you seen any of these movies? Do you have any recommendations of ones that maybe that I haven't seen that are maybe a little bit lesser known that maybe I've heard of but haven't seen? Yeah, let me know. I love talking about this stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.